Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Wednesday, January 26th, 2022, Fed Day. People, are you looking at the setup for the market this morning? Well, in case you are missing it, it's pretty incredible. I had said yesterday in my post-market report to expect the market to move today. Well, it's moving already, and I believe we are going to see quite a volatile day in this market. Stock futures right now are higher across the board, with NASDAQ futures higher by over 2%. Epic. You got cryptocurrencies right now, a pretty substantial rebound here, with Bitcoin nearing 39,000 yet again, going much higher. You all know that. Ignore all the idiots that are telling you otherwise, because they're all wrong. They've been wrong. They will continue to be wrong, and they're going to continue to miss the boat. I really feel bad for these people. I really do. Okay, crude oil. Crude oil is surging back at $87 a barrel. I'm talking about WTI, or just about $87 a barrel. Gold is slightly lower this morning. Silver is higher. The relative strength of the dollar, or the Dixie, is higher. 10-year yield and the entire yield curve looking very pretty to me this morning. But again, look, despite the fact that we have stock futures higher across the board nicely, I really don't know where this market's going to go today. Again, the market is so fixated, and I mean fixated, on what the Fed is going to do today. It could send this market ripping higher, or, in some kind of downward spiral here, people. But again, who cares? Really, let me ask you, do you really care what's happening in the stock market? Or are you going to follow the drivers like Greg Mannarino has explained to you since time immemorial? I really don't care. I'm going to look for opportunity today. All right. For example, let's say whatever the Fed does or doesn't do today sends this stock market, down 1,000 points. Am I going to go selling all my positions, go running to some corner and suck my thumb, hiding underneath some kind of blanket? No, absolutely not. I will look at the drivers of the market, debt market, MMRI. People, today, watch the MMRI. There is a link in the description of this video. If you're watching this video, click on that link and just keep my website window open, and right there you're going to find the MMRI. Let's see what the MMRI tells us today. Mannarino Market Risk Indicator. Is risk rising today, or is it dropping today? So what are we going to do? Again, if the market rips higher, or whether the market drops today, me and my lions are going to be looking at the 10-year yield, the yield curve, the relative strength of the dollar, crude oil, and the MMRI. We have 5 things to look at, people, and that's going to tell us what we need to do moving forward. I was just putting down a few things today. So we got a warning today. I want you to hear this one. So Barclays, which is a British super bank, they're warning on the stock market, saying that we could fall a lot from here. Well, I'm going to say duh. Yes, look. I don't think they mean today, although maybe, who knows. But look, the story is very simple. We are in the middle of a market that is so twisted, that is so absolutely distorted, that nobody knows what's really going on. Greg Mannarino, for years, has explained to you that this market's going higher and higher, and we were going to hit record. Yes. Have I been correct? Absolutely. But where did I come up with that? How did Greg Mannarino, in the face of a lot of other guys telling you, oh no, stay out of the market, it's going to create, or it's going to do this. Do you think I pulled this out of a hat? No. How many times have I told you all that we are trading the fakery, a fake market that is floating on oceans of debt? How many times have you heard me tell you that it's a house of cards built on top of a pool of gasoline. Yes, that is what we have with regard to the stock market. But again, forget the damn market. The stock market is the debt market that is the hyper bubble of freaking hyper bubbles. And it's being deliberately hyper inflated by central banks fulfilling their end game. You see, this is what people are missing. Right now, the Fed is determined, 100% determined, to eliminate an entire class of people on a global scale. We are in the middle of a wipeout, the middle class. You all know this. Extreme haves, extreme have-nots, feudal overlords. That's it. I mean, this process has been very successful, destroying people of the middle class here since the meltdown of '08 by the Fed artificially suppressing rates. Since that time, the middle class has been robbed blind of trillions and trillions of dollars in realized wealth. And this is why they are suffering. This is why they are being evaporated, eliminated, crushed under skyrocketing inflation. And let me tell you this too, in case you're new here. All the talk, all the bullshit, dog shit, cat shit, it's just nonsense. The narrative has been, for weeks, months, that the Fed is going to raise rates to combat surging inflation. This is, it's laughable. It is literally freaking laughable. There is no way on this earth, or off the earth, okay, I like to say that for some reason, that by the Federal Reserve raising rates, it's going to stop inflation from surging. This is not going to happen. Okay, they want to convince you that it will, but it's not going to. And the Fed has no intention at all of stopping inflation. Just realize that's what's going on. I told all of you for years, oh, I'm going to have a meltdown. Years and years, the Federal Reserve, central banks are going to inflate, and then inflate some more. How many times? Thousands over the years I've told you this. And the end result of all of this is what we are seeing now, what they needed to do. See, they were missing a key element here. The key element was some way to shut down the global economy, okay? And at the same time, force more control upon people. They found a way to shut down the economy, to get people to stand behind it like they always do, okay? It's very simple for a controlling entity to get the public to follow along via the mainstream propaganda ministry, okay? If they can convince people to be afraid of something, anything, they become mind controlled. They become literal zombies. The zombie apocalypse is real, okay? So what do? They come up with this scamdemic. They introduce a virus to the world, multiple variants, and we're not done. The World Health Organization just warned recently that there will be more variants. I've told you this for the longest time, and it's so funny. Then you see when the new variant comes out, oh, nobody saw this coming. I dare you to make this stuff up. So again, what they've done here, deliberately inflate central banks around the world, flooding the world with debt, their product, owning it all, becoming the lenders and buyers of last resort, find a way to shut the economy down, have a spokesperson point at a particular nation, it's their fault. Maybe it's, we heard the last president, it's China's fault. Again, he had to distract you. He couldn't point fingers at the Federal Reserve. No president can. The current freak as well. Again, he's pointing at the virus. He's pointing at supply chain disruptions. Oh, that's the cause of inflation. It's not the fact that the Federal Reserve, along with other central banks, have been on a money creation binge of biblical proportions. It's not that. No. Of course, they must deflect. They can't allow you to know what's really going on. They also can't allow you to know that they're not the real government, that the central banks rule the world, none more so than the Federal Reserve, for which we're going to hear from them today. Anyway, so we got this warning from Barclays, going back to Barclays real quick about the market, and I'm going to tell you to ignore that one too. I've told you all to ignore every single one of these super bank warnings with regard to this market. How many did we get last year? I don't know, over and over. Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, warning on the market, and I said ignore it, and what did we get? Record high, record high, record high, record high. Look, they're not on your side. These banks have an agenda, all of them. And believe me, you're not included in it. So we got to weaponize the system. You all know that. So anyway, the narrative, the dog shit, fake, bird shit narrative is that by the Fed raising rates, we're going to fight inflation and it's not going to do a damn thing. It's just another mechanism to deflect from the truth. And the truth is the Fed will continue to inflate. Watch the Fed's balance sheet. You remember when they announced that taper? They've tapered nothing. Okay? It's all an illusion. This whole thing is an illusion and it's not real. I think you all know that. The current environment is not real. Nothing is real. But again, what are we doing? We're staying ahead of the curve because we realize it's not real. That's our strength. It's our only strength here. Also on the economic front this morning, we're finding out that mortgage demand has literally cratered, falling 13%. Again, look, people are getting squeezed to death here, and they're becoming slaves. They continue to borrow beyond their eyeballs, credit card debt, personal debt, household debt, hitting record high, record high, record high. You think this is all by accident too, honestly? No. All of this has been thought out, how it would work out, what people, I told all of you, okay? I said what people would do many, many months ago, members of the middle class, that want to maintain the illusion that they're still in the middle class, I said they were going to do this. They were going to borrow beyond their eyeballs, trying to claw themselves higher, trying to borrow themselves into prosperity, which is the biggest fool's move in the face of the earth, on the face of the earth. And these people are guaranteeing themselves a spot in the lower rung as we move forward into this new paradigm, this new set of rules that I warned would come from many, many years ago. And that's where we are today. This new feudal system. I think many of you didn't take me seriously years ago, when I started explaining that that's where we are going, and a wipeout of the middle class. You probably just went about your business and thought I was just nuts, but it's in your face, and it's going to get so much worse, people. So look, let's summarize real quick before this video gets too damn long. Stock futures are higher across the board. Crude oil surging higher, $87. Bitcoin ripping back higher. It's going so much higher. Crude oil, forget about it, where crude's going, especially if something happens over here with Russia, Ukraine. See what they're doing over here, people? There's so much more to this than I think a lot of you realize, but I know most of you get it. You see what's going on and you probably laugh because you expected it. I'm telling you again, something I want you to keep at the forefront of your mind. Expect the unexpected. Expect anything, okay? But for today, let's see where this market goes. Again, we're about to rip higher at the open. Will the market hold those gains? I don't know. I do expect this thing to waver around. I wouldn't be surprised if we go in and out of positive territory several times today. I have no idea. But I do expect volatility. And it's going, I can't tell you how excited I am about hearing what the Fed's going to do and the narrative, the garbage, the fakery, the nonsense that they're going to push down people's throats here later when you hear from the Fed. Again, he's going to read his script. Most of the questions are fake. They've already been submitted in advance. You see, the Federal Reserve chairperson can't be made to look like an imbecile. He is the ruler of the world. The Federal Reserve chairperson is, well, the most powerful person in the world because the Federal Reserve has the full military might of the United States behind him. Okay, the Federal Reserve controls the military. They determine who gets hit and who does not get hit. It's the fiat monetary system. It's the petrodollar. It's the fact that the U.S. military is mandated to protect the oil of OPEC nations, protect it. Okay, not just protect it against attack, but protect it against falling. They must keep it propped up. So military exercises, military incursions, and whatever might happen, this is all by design to keep crude propped up. And you haven't seen anything yet. Crude is the lifeblood of the market, the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. Nothing is what it seems to be, people. Once you realize how sick and twisted and perverted the system is, well, the sooner you're going to be waking up a little bit. All right, look, I'm out of here. I will see all of you at the end of the day. People, I'm going to urge you right now, again, in the description of this video is a link to the MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator. Just open up a window and leave it open today and watch how the MMRI responds. See what it's doing now. See what it's going to do later. It's going to give us a big clue, people, as to what we should be doing moving forward. Again, how many times have I promised you this market's not going to beat us? It's not going to. We're not going to let anything get in our way. It's just not going to happen. Because you see, you and I are smart enough to recognize where the opportunity lies. And like I explained to you recently, the fools out here who continually miss the boat, that's just their nature. They will continue to miss the boat. They can't see opportunity in their face. They're going to let it go by and wonder why their lives suck day after freaking day. And that's not you. You're going to win. I promise you that. I'm out of here. I'll see you later.